Okay, I apologize for how long that video went on to. And, well, I ended it. Was not trying to do that prematurely, but whatever. So, this is a part 2. So, Kefla, the character that I've been trying to talk about all this time, she does the rage mode. What you want to call it. It's also called legendary mode. Rage mode. It's also known as legendary Super Saiyan mode, which in the canon movies, which is not canon for the upcoming series for Broly. Broly even went to legendary Super Saiyan 2 in the comics, but he didn't do it in the movie. Even Gohan didn't reach Super Saiyan 2. I think there was like some clips or something from the Japanese version for some reason or another. But in the English version, you don't get the Super Saiyan 2 Gohan. You won't even see that in adult form. It's kind of stupid, but anyway, it's not misinformation. They have misinformation. Sohan goes Super Saiyan 2 against, or Super Saiyan 2 Gohan versus, Broly. Defeats Broly. No, he doesn't. Doesn't at all. In fact, he does defeat him, but temporarily, and even then he doesn't become a Super Saiyan. Even at the end of the movie, which I hate to do spoilers, but I mean, I'm not going to try to spoil it too much. But, yeah, he doesn't become a Super Saiyan 2. Even Goku, who comes back, oh yes, oops, another spoiler. Nobody who becomes a Super Saiyan in the show becomes a Super Saiyan 2. Not in that movie. That's just Broly's second coming. So, I mean, I didn't like spoil all the movie for you, but I spoiled enough. I don't even remember all the movie. And even if I have, which I don't, for the record, there's no Super Saiyan 2 about it. I mean, maybe Bio Broly, which is a damn joke and not worth watching if you're just watching it for Broly, because that was short-lived. Literally, that whole movie was so short-lived that it shouldn't even have existed. Bio Broly was a damn mistake. He was falling apart. He was not even a major threat. And you couldn't even hardly tell that was Broly. The only time you even knew it was Broly because, well, they said hints in there, here and there, and then, or whatever, was even part of Broly. But other than that, he was nothing but a damn joke. The original Broly was more of a threat. Don't believe me? Check out 1 and 2, for God's sakes. Anyway. So, Kefla is the second character, and technically, of the canon series, not the movies, to be the second one to unlock legendary Super Saiyan mode, and she was more into it, and she was able to have fast speed. So she didn't give up fast speed. She was able to go really fast and knock out opponents and stuff. She was able to kind of defeat Goku. I say kind of, but not completely. And the third one, going back to, what is his name? Broly, for the legit canon for the series, not the movies. Even though it started from a movie, which is kind of ironic, but anyway, unlocked it too. But he was not as more rage-filled as he was in the Dragon Ball Z movies. So there you go. That's your rage form. No one else ever had the rage form. I mean, yeah, Goku kind of unreleased it a little bit, but not, even as mad as he got, he never got to that stage. So, what the rage form is someone who's gone to the point that their eyes just disappear. Literally, and their hair looks like it's more shorter than it ought to be, even if it's already long, and they have to be Saiyan too. And it doesn't matter who. Apparently, Goku can achieve this form, but he never does. And apparently, you don't actually have to be evil to attain it, but what do I know? Not Broly, but Vegeta never attained that form. If you want to count the apes, which they're not really countable because they're not that long lived in terms of, because they can, what they do is they have blind forms too, but even they don't last for very long. Once they're done harvesting and doing whatever, even the golden ape didn't last for very long. Before transforming back into the original character it came from. Yeah, that is, something to keep in mind, that they are not countable because they don't last for very long. I mean, yes, they're a threat, and so is Kefla and Broly, but they lasted a lot longer. Because if I remember correctly, not Kefla, but I keep wanting to say Kefla. What was her name again? God damn it. What the hell was her name again? I'll get it here. No, that wasn't it. Oh, you dirty sumbitch. Okay, we're gonna go back. And, yeah, Kale. Damn it, I can't remember Kale. Anyway, so Kale done it twice. So if you can do it twice, long enough to be even more of a threat instead of like taking a day or two after you're rested or everything, and because and another reason why they don't count is because they have to look at the moon, which was not very often when they did it. So, I mean, yeah, they count as far as a threat goes, yeah, but I mean, as far as like, being continuous or as much of a threat for rage mode, yeah, no. So, there's that. Well, yeah, I mean, literally. Kale will always be something that's kind of the form of what the original Broly was, except that this is Kale. And Broly was never really in control of his powers. So they had plans for him to be in control of his powers, but not until like Dragon Ball Super. So, and because they had the idea from, and I'm just guessing. I'm gonna put that on the record. I'm just guessing from this. My guesses are not always right or always accurate, but I mean, from Dragon Ball Super the series, because eventually Kefla got control, or not Kefla, but Kale. The difference is that Kale never got into the control of her powers where she was able to do it fully, like she was in her rage form. So she became like a weaker subsidiary deal, But Broly will always be the most strongest threat they've ever had to deal with, because not only is he a Super Saiyan, but he's more of a match than any villain out there. I mean, hell, not even Shenron could ever come close to his power. And I don't mean Super Broly, although Super Broly came close to what Dragon Ball Z's Broly did. And the difference is that with this Broly, there's going to be new heights and everything. Probably. Then again, they may just leave it in the comics and written out to where he gets, because doggone well, if you know anything about the Saiyans and everything, they're going to be reaching new heights and all kinds of stuff off screen, because he already did that on his own. But the difference is that I guess he wasn't able to achieve Super Saiyan in Super until after he was beaten so many times until he got I mean, not to spoil it for you, but yeah, it was like that. If you want to watch more, it's a pretty good movie. It sucks in comparison. I mean, just in comparison. Otherwise, it's a pretty good movie. I mean, it's. I wouldn't say. I would say always, in my personal opinion, and just my personal opinion from watching Dragon Ball Z and Super, that even if you had to combine the two, where the other one gives him more of the experience to control his powers, then, and have that more ability and freedom to be like that without actually going out of control, not even knowing who he is or what he is. I mean, it was kind of like Broly kind of was able to know that he knew who he was a little bit, even though he was in rage form in this Dragon Ball Z movie. The first one, second one, yeah, not so much. On Super, he lost so much control that he wasn't able to, obtain even an identity. But still not as powerful as the Broly, because the Broly in Dragon Ball Z had a lot more practice and more time to become a Super Saiyan, and he was able to. He had more time to be stronger than anything out there. And I'm going to say this for the record. Power levels don't mean nothing. It doesn't matter, because Dragon Ball teaches you anything, or they can teach you quite a few things about the series. And one of them is, power levels don't mean nothing. It's your strength and abilities. Like, even if, say, a Super Saiyan or a Saiyan could be like level 1, or has a power level of 1, and he transforms into a Super Saiyan, and he's able to overcome someone who has a power level of 1,000. I mean, shit. That's how much bullshit power levels are. I mean, literally, I think that personally, I mean, I never really thought about it before when I was watching it many moons ago. But yeah, I mean, literally, with that, I mean, you think about how that it coincides with what Broly represents and whatnot. But the writers, their whole imagination, how they wanted it, is how it ended. So, yeah. I mean, I still think, and I'll always think this, no matter how many times they change it, no matter how much they may make it canon, that Broly should have been more given of a chance if he had all the powers he had from Dragon Ball Z to turn a leaf and become good. Because he had the chance to do that in Broly's Second Coming, but the thing is, though, they did not let it ride out that way. They just read it out like, well, we gotta defeat this guy, and that's it. And that was the end of Broly. No, I mean literally the end of Broly, because Broly does not count as, oh, the real end of Broly, unless it was the original Broly, unless they merged the original Broly, not some clone, not some cells from him and put in. That's exactly what they did in that movie. And the cells were not as able to put up a good fight like the original Broly did. The original Broly was, man, I don't know what to tell you. Just check it out. I mean, literally, check out both movies. I would definitely recommend buying them too, just to support the creators and stuff. I would definitely buy Eluden when it comes out, even if it is in the store somewhere on Steam. I will buy it, but I'm not going to put funding into the project because it's already got a lot of money. And I can put my money more towards more charitable causes. Not that I don't respect Eluden. And that's not saying I don't respect it. I mean, literally, if I could put more money into any kind of charity, it wouldn't be that. I'm sorry, but that's just how I feel. I mean, I respect it, I love it, but I'm not putting a damn dime in it. That's just as far as funding the project goes, in terms of getting it off the ground. Because as much as money as they've had, especially getting people involved, yeah, they could have already had it launched, and they didn't. And they could have already had it finished with more stuff into it, but they didn't. So whenever it goes on the shelves, I will support it the way I've always done, buying it. Becomes once it's released into the stores and stuff. And I don't know if it is or not now, since now that we're speaking about it. But Elite Chronicles is a brand new Suikoden game. It's actually a spirit successor of the game. In the original creators, and I don't mean the company of Konami, because they've had so many different projects, so they're classified as a separate entity themselves. Even though they have a lot to do with the production of Suikoden originally, they're putting it into purgatory. So they don't want to do it. Like, they've left so many damn projects alone, which I think they shouldn't have done that. I mean, even if they had to bring it back in so many different ways, that would have been fine. But the problem with that is the way they're going about it nowadays, which is stupid. But, whatever. I mean, I have to give credit to Konami, though. I don't have to, but I have to be based on what they've done and what they've accomplished throughout their lifetime as a company. I mean, because I respect the company, I just don't respect what they do now. So Konami will always be something that I like. And there's also characters they retired, characters they brought in, and bothered to bring in and didn't bother to bring them back for as good as they are. Only through comic books and stuff like that. If they ever had anything do it. As far as games go, they're crap. Like Symphony of the Night's main character is it is, unless you unlock the other guy and you can play as him, but it don't mean a lot unless you're actually playing as Alucard, Dracula's son. Which actually, by the way, Alucard is Dracula backwards. Yeah. Oh yeah. No one ever knew that. So, yeah. No one ever figured it out until a few were smart enough to figure it out, like my own brother. Well, my own brother, I mean the one that passed away. Horses in the Rain. And, so a few others. But other than that, I mean, he actually had a son named Alucard. And there's many stories out there where Dracula exists, but he has no son. In this instance, because I see Alucard is like half human. And his mother was a complete human. And Dracula married that human. And the bad thing is that, which, if you think about it, technically it doesn't make any sense. He made a good son, and he also did good and bad. So it's like he can be both, which is kind of stupid. I mean, although Alucard did do the same, but he's above it all. And that's what Goku could do if he chose to write the right form. Again, this is all according to, if the writers do so, but again, as well as whatever they want to do with the show. I don't much care for the Mayan Trunks timeline, because see, Mai was originally old. She was already young, and then they rewrote her into a younger character, which made no damn sense. She was already pretty much older. I mean, way older, before Trunks was even born. If they had continued to use that character, okay. And the thing of it is that she's been, uh, well, she's been in this storyline twice, canonically, except for TV. Now, the TV part of it was a non-canon way, which originally not non-canon, but let's not go there. I don't want to argue about it, but yeah, Dragon Ball GT, where she became young. I mean, really young, like what they showed in Dragon Ball Super, which was kind of stupid. And which was really stupid as well is that, okay, see, the thing about Mai was she was already an adult. And she was reborn, again into a younger person and then went to the years. And then all of a sudden wound up marrying Trunks. That was stupid, okay? Whoever thought of that? Seriously. It was stupid. Now, okay, I have to give it to you that if, say, she was actually in the time where she was made, growing up, where there is a Frozen Trunks, okay, maybe. Even then, I don't really care for it. But hey, I'm not one for straight couples. But since we're gonna go there, then it should have been that way instead of the way they went around about it, the way they did it. To me, that would have made more sense than going, oh well, here's mine. Now we gotta screw up her timeline and make her be involved with Trunks. When originally, that's not how she went down. She been through a lot of guys. I mean, literally, while she was an adult. But see, Trunks and Mai together, no. I mean, yeah, okay. I have to accept it as it is, but I don't have to respect it or love it. I mean, I wouldn't even love it anyway, but I mean, I still really go either way. But it's still, I would accept it more if it went about the right way through the proper channels, not based on what some dumb fanfic made, because that's just dumb. What makes it dumb is because of how she was, okay, like she was reborn, but she was still the same person as she was, except she got in her younger age as a kid, and they don't know it. They're so damn blind and they don't even know that. I mean, the characters themselves, not the voice actors or anything like that, but they're so blind to it, it's not even funny. The fact is that if she was to go from the original time she was from, then Trunks would be marrying a really old prune. And according to what the writers write, they probably would have been okay with that. And I probably would have accepted that. Like I would anything. Except the difference is I wouldn't be more willing to accept Maya as that way. But hey, whatever. I mean, that's the old Maya, that's the younger Maya that doesn't belong with Trunks. I mean, shoot, you got so many fan fictions out there that he winds up being with Bulma and, with his mother. Oh, don't look at me like that. Give me a break, okay? This is all pure fan fiction anyway. Or Trunks winds up with Android 18, or Goku does, or whatever. Goku winds up with Android 18, and then, or what the hell? Oh, that's not good. I got something bleeding down there. That's where she clawed me. Yeah, when she was getting up one day. And I knocked right into it. And I put peroxide on it, but oh well. Whew. Didn't even hurt. I like that one day. So, but anyway, on my leg, that's what I'm talking about is the blood coming from it. But anyway, so back to that, because I don't want to keep on going. I don't want to be on gross here, but it's kind of gross with Mai and Trunks. But yeah, literally, there are so many fanfics, so many storylines that have been written out with like Chi-Chi being with Trunks, Chi-Chi being with Vegeta, or ultimately, or before that, and there's just so many different interesting storylines. I mean, not for me, but people who actually love the straight kind of curve, which is fine. But I don't really care for it. I'm not going to sit there and go, I love that kind of stuff. I get off on that. And I'm not saying that that's what people do. And it wouldn't surprise me if there was a lot of them that did. And that's not saying everybody who watches it or reaches that does. But that's just saying that there are people out there that do that and would be sick enough to do that. And if you know what I mean. Yeah, it turns them on. Yeah. I'm not going to go any further than that. But, if you want to get the idea, then talk to someone who you can talk to without talking about it over on the web, because nobody can see that. So, yeah, but I had to say, though, that all the other timelines that were so very interesting were very good. See, Goku becomes the bad guy, or Vegeta is the good guy, or they both or say, okay, all the Saiyans make it to Earth. They were meant to survive, or even all the entire race actually make it to Earth. Somehow or another. Before the entire planet explodes of Planet Vegeta. They had to start over. But they have their own homes out there. Or on a nearby planet that's even closer. And Frieza doesn't know anything about it, neither does Beerus, but eventually he does. Or would have. So initially, Goku and Vegeta become Super Saiyans. Super Saiyan gods, whatever. From going Super Saiyan to all the way up there. But the whole planet of Saiyans just make it through. Nappa doesn't die. They all become good for some reason or another. And then they change the ways of the rest of Frieza's planet, and then Frieza eventually turns to good, and thus invoking another threat to the universe. It's supposed to be more powerful than Broly, which canonically that'll never be true, but whatever. So eventually you got someone who's more stronger than he is, and who can actually whoop his butt. Not only just whoop him, but make him like he doesn't even. He never was born, never even existed, and they can actually even wipe out the Saiyans and and Frieza's entire race, And then there's a whole. It's all interesting, but in terms of action, not the kind of inappropriate action like between Mai and Trunks. Ugh. Ugh. Anyway. So moving on. Yeah, so and then always somebody change, and then in some of the storylines they all be eventually going on and on and on and on, and it just never ends, and then eventually well, is it ever going to end with all this crap about somebody eventually becoming good? So and instead, having somebody instead remain evil. We find the remain protagonist, evil main protagonist. They had to fight, kind of like Emperor Pilaf. Yeah, I said his name right. It's Pilaf, believe it or not. Look it up. Not Pilog. It's not Pilog. It's Pilaf. Pilaf. I believe that's how you spell it. So yeah, because he was more of a main protagonistic villain, not an evil villain, because he didn't have any superpowers or anything like that. Don't ask me. That's just the way it's written out. But yeah, because he survived. He's been up into super Dragon Ball Super, which actually has no bearing to making any sense. So, I mean, the timeline for those guys, but hey, I'm not bitching because they're there. I don't really care one way or the other. I mean, these characters here really probably wouldn't even give a time of day to care about them. For them to be there or not be there, because they're not there in the story long enough to say, oh, hey, there's us three again. Don't they look familiar? Or, that's definitely Pimper Pilloff and his goons. Stop them. Or whatever, you know. How the thing goes. But yeah, I mean, other than that, I mean, again, see, Trunks will be always the favored future hero protagonist of the future. You know. So, yeah, if you're looking for someone who's going to go back in time, since he knows better now, he's not going to do that. He's not going to go back in time knowing better and to go back there and just do it anyway. I mean, yeah, he's selfish, but he's also got his mother in him. He also has learned to be good, so he's going to follow the rules. I guarantee if they focus on him like he has done so far, like even though he's done what he had to survive, which he has, because if you don't know, for the longest time they didn't have him go back. I mean, eventually they had, because he kind of had to. But now that he knows better, and since that future is no longer, and even though it may still be possible another threat may come along, he'll now focus his efforts on building a future where I can guarantee you this actually it's still a possibility at this point, because again it's all up to what the writers say or do or don't do. But anyway, where he builds up or has his own mother, or they both do it, whatever, make this whole doggone thing where he can actually train, even if he had to use a hyperbolic time inliner chamber. I mean, the hyperbolic time chamber. Whatever. You know. Oops, I said it wrong. Oh, Sean Chamel. Anyway. So, basically, I gotta say, though, I still got props and respect to the man for being a good, voice actor and all that, but you didn't have to go that far about what you had to say. Just like this other character, or not other character, but actual real living being, I don't know if that's actually his name, because I never met him in person, but about Creed and Nickelback. Didn't have to go that far, actually. It started with Nickelback. Now it's both of them. Didn't have to go that far, Just saying. Just to prove how much you don't like them. But, whatever. So, but I gotta say, though, that, and if they focus on just Goku, his ultimate form could be something to do with, that goes beyond both good and evil. Not something that just so good it's not even funny. I mean, as much training, as much suffering he's been through, and how much bad he's put into the world. Because, yeah, he has put some bad into the world. Of the universe he's in. He has, literally. Just wasn't aware of it. So it was too late. Because, I mean, look, he's done so much destruction on Earth. And it may be not as bad as what Cell or Boo has done when they wiped out humanity and stuff like that. But I will say that with that, if you had to think logically speaking, breaking the fourth wall, I mean, it wouldn't make any sense because, see, Cell was a machine. Maybe he had living parts in him, but how did he come back as a dead person, have like a dead body, and be in hell? How did he do that? Frieza, I can kind of understand, I suppose. I don't know. And I don't even understand how his timeline fits in there because, see, the thing about even Frieza's entire race was not there. So how come the entire race wasn't there? You know, that's a good question. What even happened to his entire race? The only thing you see so far, I mean, you don't even get to see his brother except in a damn, and they don't even talk about it, not once, except maybe in a Japanese, which I think is stupid. I mean, there's some things that should not be said in the English dub, but there are some things that definitely do fit. They should have been said in English dub that was in Japanese, you know? So, yeah.